Well, as Ottawa's transit service continues to struggle this winter, one city councillor is proposing some ideas for making improvements. Lane Johnson is the city councillor for College Ward, and she joins me live this morning to talk about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. The first thing I just want to ask you is when you look at something like yesterday, and we continue to see frustration.
What happened yesterday?
Yeah, I know. It's just something of the OC Transpo line 1 down once again. Do you think that adds to the frustration users are already having?
Well, yes. I mean, I think that was what my piece that I published was really about, is that people are feeling powerless, and powerlessness breeds cynics. And I think that the cynicism that we have about OC Transpo now is getting to be quite harmful for some of the projects and aspirations that the city of Ottawa should espouse to. We should be excited to be a growing city. We should be excited to be a destination. But now when we talk about those things, even yesterday during our Byward Market discussions, there was very little mention of transit, even though it's one of the most accessible places by transit in the city. So I'm becoming increasingly alarmed that we're not talking about a vision for OC Transpo as we continue to be mired by some of these problems.
Yeah, and I think you're not alone too. And we hear from our viewers all the time about just being delayed and delayed. And, you know, especially with the harsh winter we've had, being outside for maybe an hour waiting for your transfer. You've talked about dedicated bus lanes. Talk a little bit more about what you see that being a benefit to the future.
Certainly. So, you know, I have a fabulous project in Ward 8. College Ward connects Algonquin College to many other places in the city. And we have the Baseline Rapid Transit project that is currently seeking funding from other levels of government. It's totally designed. And what it does is it separates the bus from the rest of traffic. You know, over 20% of trips on a month-to-month basis can be delayed by congestion. And so if we can give buses a way to get through traffic faster, whether that be by queue jumping and getting through an intersection faster, or by giving them their own lane, we could see dramatically better results that might encourage other people to choose the bus when in fact they weren't before.
Right, and especially when you look at now when more people might be taking the bus as they return to work with the office mandate as well. And over the last couple months, we've had major issues with buses and trains having to be pulled off the tracks, pulled off the roads for maintenance. Where do you see an effort to maybe improve that idea with the buses?
Well, I mean, I think we definitely have to be accountable for the years of underfunding that we've put into OC Transpo. Nobody likes to get their car maintained. You pay a ton of money and then it just runs exactly the way it used to, right? It's not a sexy story. It feels like dumped money, but it's really important so that in those clinch moments, you can depend on that vehicle to get you where you need to go. I do think we are making commitments now to improve that, but we have made choices in the past that have made us vulnerable. And those have been budget pressures. Those have been, you know, other reasons that I think now we need to collectively be unapologetic for funding transit. Transit needs to be at the center of all of our conversations. Otherwise, that beautiful LRT is going to end up like a Peloton bike that you never actually operate, right? You pay all this money for that bike to sit in the corner and you never want to use it. And I don't want that to happen to OC. I don't want that to happen to the LRT.
And you know, you're a big believer in the fact of another side of this is city development is also having an impact on our bus service. Where do you see that fitting into this whole situation?
Well, I think everyone knows that it can be a bit of a chicken or the egg. You need the development to be able to pay for the transit that you desire to serve those residents. But now, you know, we have a fabulous project being proposed at the Baxter Building. Everyone will know that area because it's where the Ottawa Citizen used to be. So great location, right beside the LRT, the Ped Bridge over, and really no adjoining neighbors, right? But people are really cynical about it because they think everyone's going to buy a car. I have to say, that cynicism took me by surprise. I thought, okay, here we're going to have a development that pays its fees, that goes and gets invested in all of those other priorities, but we're still having to fight through some of that sort of loss of hope for the system we're building. That is, to me, I mean, I don't want to ignore people's experiences. That is not what I'm saying. I have Algonquin College students, I have, you know, shift workers, I have everyone that lives in College Ward that isn't getting where they need to go on time. But we do need leadership that continues to talk about what is possible when we see through the vision that we wanted to put forward in the first place. And I'm afraid that we're getting too caught up in the apologies and we're not letting people know that we have a place to go and we're going to get there together.
Well, so many people sharing your frustration and your hopeful, positive vision of the future. Lane Johnson, always appreciate you coming in and talking about this with us.
Thank you very much, Will.